Good morning, Lego fans. Welcome to a very spooky episode. Today we're going to be looking at a Hidden Side set, which is very appropriate for the upcoming season of Halloween. So yeah, basically, if you don't know what Hidden Side is, basically it's a spiritual successor to the Monster Fighter series of 2012, I believe. Basically, these are a whole group of teenagers who go out and try to catch monsters, but definitely not bust them. No, that's copyrighted. But these guys go out with their cell phones to spooky places and detect ghosts and I guess capture them using their cell phones or I don't know. I don't really follow the comic or the lore or whatever you want to call it of these sets. I just find the fact that they can change from a rather plain-looking building into a kind of a monster-looking thing was really cool. Something you don't see that often in Lego sets. The transformative properties is what I mean. Just flip a switch and then boom, it's a ghost castle or something. Something really cool. But also, this set is very special to me because it was the very first one that I actually got to build with somebody else. We took turns building it. I took a piece and they took a piece. We put them together. We figured out where everything went. It was really a blast. If you have a chance, I would suggest building something together because Lego is meant for bringing people together and having fun and stuff like that. Anyway, enough of that aside. Today's set 70419, the Wrecked Shrimp Boat, released in 2019, had 310 pieces and 4 minifigures. So without further ado, let's just get right on into it. So here we have the shrimp boat Maria. Just off the coast of Newbury, they find a rather nice catch of fish and shrimp, but also a rather odd sword. Unfortunately, it's cursed, and now the captain's possessed. That's a bad day right there. So here to save the day is Parker and Jake, along with their ghost dog Spencer. And hopefully they can catch this ghost and return everyone back to normal before this ship unfortunately gets crashed upon these rocks in the background. So before that all happens, let's take a look at the set. In the front here we have this rather interesting sand-colored alligator with red eyes. I really like that touch. Kind of gives a swamp sort of vibe to the whole set. You can do that with a normal alligator, but for some reason sand really drives home the fact that it's a murky and very dark swamp, which is really cool. Also, we have a cool little canoe, or kayak rather, and some interesting pieces for our two little heroes here. Of course, this is a specially molded hat for Parker here, along with a cell phone, which depicts a ghost being caught. Definitely not busted, but caught. Now, why does this series use cell phones to interact with the toy? Well, besides the fact that everyone has a cell phone, there's actually a thing going on with ghost hunting in real life, which uses a variety of other electronic devices in order to detect the presence of ghosts, hear them, that sort of thing. So this is really just an extrapolation from a real life thing into a sort of a fantastical method, I suppose. But yeah, that's really the only reason why they use cell phones. They could have used a weird gadget DoBots, but it wouldn't have had the same effect, at least in terms of playability, for the app and all that, if it was just a static toy. That said, I do enjoy the fact that this is actually something that can be played with and not just a facade in which you look at with the cell phone. So that's really a plus in terms of Hidden Side among other series that just give you a facade for play. Anyway, here's Jake. Nothing really to be said about him besides his cool hat there. I like that. I like how it's 2 pieces, or rather 1 piece, but it looks like 2. It's basically just a hood with hat underneath. And taking that off, we can see that Jake has just a very simple face. You can use this on other minifigures easily. Just the only differentiating mark that it is Jake is the fact that it has a cheek blemish there. But you can definitely use the other parts for other builds, is what I'm saying. I like the Letterman jacket. That's very cool. But yeah, nothing really needs to be said about that, except that he has a different ghost on his cell phone. I guess he's working elsewhere. And also, his is black and Parker's is purple, kind of orange, I suppose, which is cool. A little variation between the two characters. It shows a bit of their personality. Anyway, putting them aside, let's take a look at the ship. It's a really cool little fishing trolley here. You can really pretend that it's fishing for anything. It doesn't have to be shrimp per se. The only really noticing mark is the fact that it has a little shrimp logo on top, but you can easily remove that. But yes, it's a very interesting little shrimp boat here. Very low hull. Got a few buoys or tires on the side here to prevent crashing and bumping into other ships. But really kind of realistic. Something that kind of bugs me though, if you know anything about LEGO, the numbers that they use in LEGO sets, it's not a random thing. Usually they point to the fact that it's what number the set is rather, and often the lettering in front of the numbers used on license plates and other things in LEGO are sometimes referenced to being the designers and other things, but unfortunately these don't make sense. Of course, the letters are indecipherable, but these string of numbers here, that is not the set. This is not set 060719. This is set 70419. So maybe they had a series change at some point in which they had different numbering. I don't know. That's just speculation on my part. It's just rather interesting that out of all the sets that I have ever seen from LEGO, this is the one time that the numbers don't make sense in terms of, stuff like that. Anyway, cool little ship. Let's take a look at Spencer the dog here, which is another little minifigure that they give you. Just a simple little transparent little dog on a stud, or you can just stick him on a stud rather. He's slightly transparent, which is hard to pick up on camera. There we go. I just like him. I'd like to put a few of these around in like a new haunted house or something. That'd be really cool. I want to make a mock that's very spooky, and I could easily use that. Anyway, looking at the ship, we can see that on the back here we have a rotating part, which one can presume brings up the catch. I presume that it would bring up the nets and then dump it onto the deck here, and so Jonas Jr. here can look through the catch and see if he got mostly fish or looks like there's some shrimp in there. But yes, so that's a certain play value there. But the colors reference certain game modes and stuff in the game itself. I'm not really privy on what these colors mean. Just I presume once you beat a certain level, you move on to the next one, and then you can go back and replay, that sort of thing. And I'm sure they have updates and stuff which can further increase play value. But it's just a weird little spinny wheel now with a bunch of different colors. That's fine with me. That's cool. I can always replace that with normal colors, but really, I don't want to. It's a fun little set, and that's just a little minor, why is there yellow? That doesn't really matter. It's a toy. It doesn't bug me when there's random colors laying around. Anyway, I'm sure you're all waiting for the wrecked part of this, so let's just rip this whole thing apart. Try not to break too much. And that said, I've already broken a few things in the back here. Whoa, careful, Jonas. There we go. So I think we're gonna have to have a jump cut here while I fix this. There we go, all fixed, or rather, all destroyed. This is the final resting place for the Maria as per the instructions. And I can't say that I really like this version. It's cool. It's a different way to display this ship when you're not playing with it. But really, in order to play with it using the app, you have to put the ship back together. And there's no real reason to have the rocks in the background. In the game, they're animated, so theoretically, these are just parts that you could use for other things. I guess that's cool. But if you want to play the game itself, you would have to have the ship in its one piece. and you can't modify it. I mean, at least the outline, you can't modify it. If you wanted to add like a different character on the outside, the game would kindly ask you to remove it, but or place certain characters in certain spots. And unless you, I don't know, you could theoretically put any character on the spots, but it's more appropriate to have the characters that come with the set on the spots. So that pigeonholes play value. You can't mix and match characters and whatnot. And yeah, it's a bit of a letdown. Hidden Side, and as a general, has so much potential. There's a lot of things that could really be done well with a spooky series. A lot of things popping out, a lot of glow in the dark things, just stuff that kids enjoy. The simple moving effects could just push this whole series over the edge and really sell a lot. Kids enjoy stuff like that. Insofar as this, all you really get is a spooky ghost captain guy, a boat, two kids, a ghost dog, and last but not least, a ghost rock. So yeah, kind of weird. I feel the whole thing kind of pigeonholes you into certain types of play, only certain types of scenarios, instead of giving you free reign to do whatever you want. Which I guess is a letdown for some of the themes of the past. Certainly the monster hunters, or monster fighters rather, they had a kind of a niche thing where they were, going after monsters and things. There wasn't really that much to pinhole on what was really, what they were supposed to be doing. There was no definitive goal necessarily besides capture them, which is the same deal here. I'm not really sure what the goal is with Parker and Jake. Are they trying to get more YouTube subscribers? Speaking of. Or are they just merely trying to save the world? I have not watched their cartoon, so I may be mistaken, but their motives seem a little amiss to me. But that's coming from a 30-year-old who knows nothing about kids these days. So whatever. I do hope that they continue making more Hidden Side sets and things. That said, just because I just enjoy Lego trying to do their own thing, try to branch into their own independent properties, and not rely so much on Disney, Star Wars, those other ones, Marvel, the other big name brands that seem to drive the market these days. I like it when Lego tries to be their own unique brand and try to do their own toys. That's fun, So Lego, just keep doing you. Just keep being you, and don't care what I say. Just keep making your own stuff, and I'm sure I'll buy every single one of them. That's all I really have for this review. If you'd like to see more, please like and subscribe, and support me on Patreon. And until I have more reviews for you, I'll see you next time. Bye.